Today on Sugar Spun Run, I'm showing you how to make a white chocolate frosting. Hey Sugar Spun Bakers, Sam here, and today I'm really excited to be sharing this white chocolate frosting recipe with you. Now, in case you're worried about how sweet white chocolate tends to be, I want to assure you that this frosting is surprisingly not overly sweet. In fact, I think it's less sweet than my classic American buttercream. Now, the first ingredient you are going to need for today's recipe is 6 ounces of white chocolate. I really recommend using a premium brand of chocolate. I'm using a baking bar today, but in a pinch I have substituted white chocolate chips with success. Now I'm going to break these up into really small pieces. Now obviously if you're using chocolate chips, you don't need to break up the chocolate. You can just melt them in the bowl as is. But if you're using a bar like I am, you want to break the pieces so that they're even in size. I usually aim for approximately chocolate chip sized pieces. This chocolate's pretty soft and easy to break, but if yours is difficult, just use a knife. I like to use a large knife and cut it in a mincing motion. Now we're going to melt this chocolate, and anytime you're melting chocolate, you want to do so slowly. I'm going to heat this in 15-second increments, stirring really well every 15 seconds. So once your chocolate is melted and nice and smooth, we actually want to set it aside and let it cool for about 10 to 15 minutes. The important thing is that it's no longer hot, and if you touch the bowl, it shouldn't feel warm to the touch. I'm just going to set this aside. Now while your chocolate is cooling, you'll want to go ahead and grab 1 cup of unsalted butter. Now you want this to be softened about to room temperature, but you don't want it so soft that it's melty or oily. I'm going to place these in the bowl of my stand mixer. Now if you don't have a stand mixer, you can use a large bowl and an electric hand mixer instead. That'll be fine. Beat your butter on medium to medium-high speed for about 30 seconds until it's nice and creamy. Now once your chocolate is cool to the touch, it should not feel even a little bit warm at this point or it will melt your butter. We're going to add this in with the butter. I'm really not a big white chocolate person, but I absolutely love this frosting. Just want to scrape the sides of the bowl so that butter and that white chocolate are slightly combined. We'll go ahead and beat these together until everything is well combined and nice and creamy. Now, if your chocolate is even a little bit hot, it's going to melt your butter and you're going to have a greasy mess. If your butter is too cold and you haven't creamed it properly, then sometimes it can form little tiny specks of hardened chocolate in the frosting, which is obviously not ideal. Looks like we did everything right this time because our icing is nice and smooth and creamy. Now today's recipe uses only 2 cups of powdered sugar, and we're going to gradually add that into our butter and white chocolate mixture with our mixer on low speed. Now, some of you may find you need a little bit more powdered sugar. You can add a spoonful at a time additional to taste, or if you need a stiffer icing, but 2 cups usually does it for me. I just don't know how to do this without making a mess. Once again, we're going to want to scrape the sides and bottom of the bowl with a spatula, just because we want to make sure everything's well combined. And then we'll add 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then just a pinch of salt. I generally use between 1/8 and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I always start with 1/8 and then add more as needed. This helps to cut the sweetness of the icing and it adds more flavor. Now let's stir this together until it's well combined. The final ingredient that we need is 2 tablespoons of cold heavy cream. Now turn your mixer to low speed and we'll gradually pour in this cream. Once the cream is completely incorporated, we'll turn our mixer speed up to medium-high and we're going to whip it for about 30 seconds. This adds a really nice lightness to the frosting and gives it a great creamy texture. This is looking pretty good, but I want to beat it a little bit longer because I want to incorporate a little bit more air into this icing, make it a little bit more fluffy. And that is how you make a white chocolate icing. It's a very soft icing. You can use it to pipe on top of cupcakes, and if you chill it, if you put it in the fridge, it will harden up or it'll become firm, which is really nice. This will cover 12 cupcakes generously, or it will cover an 8-inch or 9-inch 2-layer round cake. I hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe and stay tuned because in my next video, I'm going to be using it on a very fun and special cake. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Perfect.